What's the school rumor that turned out to be 100% true?
New kid comes to high school. Has a funny accent because his parents were missionaries traveling all over the world. He was actually kind of cool. Spoke at least 4 different languages: English, Spanish, Russian, and Mandarin. He was super polite and everyone liked him. Of course, he had haters, mainly the so-called bullies, a concept he never understood. Rumor began that he was well-versed in many forms of martial arts. He never denied or admitted to them. One of the bullies decided to find out. He was much bigger than the new kid. New kid did everything in his power to not escalate the fight. Even took a punch from said bully. Well, guess the rumor was true. Not only did the new kid beat his ass, the bully shit himself. Most awesome thing I ever saw in high school. 2 teachers that were married to each other were sleeping with students. The husband was the first to do it and the wife found out and slept with some of her students as revenge. Also, the resource officer was sleeping with some of the 18-year-old seniors. All got confirmed when they were fired for it. Well, the teachers got fired. The officer got moved to bicycle patrol. This one girl would make those colorful friendship bracelets made out of needlepoint floss for every guy she gave a BJ to. There were lots of bracelets. The guys didn't start figuring it out until there was quite a large number of handmade bracelets on dudes who wouldn't normally be wearing anything of the sort. Who made you that? Emily. We had a Spanish teacher who would keep giving random financial/business advice during classes. One day he tabbed over to his stock trading homepage and accidentally revealed that he was a millionaire. Rumors about his past started circulating. Around graduation, some students found old newspaper articles confirming that he was a former meth dealer who had spent time in jail. Actually, that's one sharp drug dealer. Made the money, served some time, invested the money that wasn't taken by the government, and is teaching. Was a seriously cool guy, actually.
Soy Heisenbergito.
We had a physics teacher who was rumored to be a millionaire as well. It was said that he had a hand in the development of MRI machines in his younger years. I know he himself had stories about working in the lab of an MRI factory, so I'm pretty sure checks out, even if he never said how much money he had. Either way, the rumors were that he had enough to retire anytime he wanted, so it was probably a lot. A girl blew the whole basketball team after a game. To know the exact details, I just know the girl left and 3 kids got expelled. Edit: I'm not naming the high school for privacy reasons. The reason they got expelled was because it was a Catholic school and they did it in the locker room. There was a family in my town that fostered to adopted all their kids. Everyone had known one of their daughters since she was quite young, and then they adopted another girl her age when we were in 8th grade. They did not get along. When the original girl developed epilepsy a few years later, her new sister claimed she was faking and everyone thought she was so fucking mean and ostracized her. Eventually, she had to fess up to faking the seizures all along when she signed up for basic training, which she never even completed. Unfortunately, this was after we all graduated, so we never got to apologize to her sister. In high school, that the biology teacher was growing weed in the environmental lab. Supposedly, he did it for 30 years without anyone noticing. No one could ever prove it though. Later on, I was assigned to be the agent taking care of some of his financial matters, so I went to his house to have him sign some paperwork. He had a hydroponic setup there, so I asked him about the environmental lab. It was like Han Solo in The Force Awakens. It's true. All of it. Then he offered me a brownie. That one of the students was actually a cop. Turns out he was a cop and busted one of the actual students for selling handguns in school. If you thought 21 Jump Street was unrealistic, think again. Cop was a 33-year-old male and undercover for like half the semester. That one of the seniors in my school wrote all over the men's room bathroom about bringing a bomb to school. The bomb squad evacuated us all. Dogs came and they found one in a random locker. It was absolutely nuts. Kid got arrested 2 seats next to me. in English class a couple of days later once they could prove he did it. In elementary, about 15 years ago, our favorite school teacher didn't come back after a summer break. He was awesome, funny, sporty, cool, down to earth, never shouted. Just a great role model to have around when you are a kid. Rumors went round that his wife and daughter died in a car accident. No one believed it. It was just what kids said on the playground. Somebody heard it from somebody, who heard it from somebody. Then I went to the local grocery store with my mom a little while after school had started again. I saw my old teacher. He was a shell, a wreck. I was only 8, but even then you can tell when someone isn't there anymore. I asked parents of my friends, and they confirmed the rumors. I felt so bad that something as awful as that could happen to one of the best guys I ever knew and always looked up to. Turns out he committed suicide a couple of years ago. Same bridge that his wife and daughter died on all those years ago. At our school, this one kid was rumored to be a son of one of the local gym's amateur boxer teacher. None of us had no real reason to think twice about it. Once we got to high school, this kid started teasing that kid. I had a couple of mutual friends with the bully, so I warned the guy he might want to let up on teasing him. A couple days go by, the dude didn't stop. And the boxer's kid proceeded to give this guy one of the worst one-sided fights I have ever seen. The bully learned his lesson and never bullied anyone else for the rest of our high school years. So it turned out to be true. Please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the video. A girl in my high school started dating a guy freshman year. Both her mom and his dad were recently divorced, so when they met because of their kids dating, they hit it off with each other big time. The parents got married about a year later, and they all 4 plus any siblings lived together after that. It was real awkward because the classmates broke up my junior year, but lived in the same house and basically fought like siblings on the reg after the breakup. Kind of wonder how they're doing now, lol. In middle school, there was a rumor my 7th to 8th grade social studies teacher owned a pet donkey. Turned out to be true. The donkey's name was Pedro the Donkey. In high school, there was this kid I viewed as an arrogant punk. He always had a ton of money and was into photography. Apparently, his father was a professional photographer. The rumor was that he was paying a lot of money to the hottest girls in our school to pose nude for him, penthouse style. At the time, I had seen Playboys but no penthouses and didn't realize that the poses in Penthouse were a little more explicit. I ran into him a couple of decades later and we went to a nearby bar to have some drinks. He seemed very humble at this point, as if life had and grinded him down. He admitted to me that he had become an alcoholic. I told him about the rumor and he confirmed it, saying his father had put him up to it, and that his father was the one who wanted the pictures, and that was why his father gave him so much money. After his father died, he inherited all his stuff, and while going through some boxes, he ran across the pictures. He destroyed them immediately, not wanting to get caught with them because they were of underage girls. I'll add this one even though it has not been confirmed, and is probably somewhat true but not completely true as told. There were rumors that a girl who was a senior when I was a sophomore appeared in a porn film while she was in high school. Again, this was the late 70s, probably 1978, and we were only about 20 miles from San Francisco, where a lot of those films were being made at the time. Also, she would have been 18 at the time. There are a few guys I know who have spent the last 40 years trying to find this film. I think that with the internet and all the resources available, IMDb, IAFD, Xhamster, and so on, if this film existed with her in it, someone from high school would have found it by now. I've heard from another that may know that all she did was agree to be an extra in a scene where she and a bunch of other extras went skinny dipping in a river for about $40, and that no one knows, including her, what happened to the film. My guess is that someone heard about this and decided to embellish the story. Rumor was our new substitute English teacher was suspended years back for choking out a student. By the end of the week with him, he threw a table at a student and threatened to kill him. We were debriefed by our usual teacher when he came back. Was confirmed. We were not surprised. This was a rumor that went around my elementary school. Basically, my school had a lockdown, but they didn't tell us what it was for. One kid came in the next day and told us that his sister said it was a cow in the field in between the high school and middle school. So my second grade class went and told everyone else in the school. The next day we had an assembly that confirmed this rumor. There were rumors that there was a network of underground tunnels that connected every building on my college campus. Didn't believe it till I walked through them myself.
Subscribe for more.